Andy, you guys broke the story. HipHopGamer,
Yeah,
we debate about that, but
let's not go there.
We believe you did break the story
yeah.
on the Wii U.
First off, you know, we got Kratos in the game, you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Yeah, you called it.
No matter what, I love your guys' show. It's one of the best ones in video games, so it's like, thanks for coming and checking stuff out.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy HipHopGamer, one love and God bless, man. And you already know what it's time for, right? Welcome to Shots Fired 7. Alright, Shots Fired! You already know what it is. So, look at the title, right? Title of this joint is basically this. Shots Fired 7, Ninja Gaiden, Tecmo, they warned me, alright? They gave me a heads up on, like, bracing myself about what the scores was probably going to be like for Ninja Gaiden. You know what I'm saying? So all these low scores and everything like that, even though it was still shocking to see, you know, it still wasn't that much of a surprise because I was kind of warned that this was going to happen. Right? So on this episode, as every episode that I put out, there's always a goal. There's always something I'm trying to accomplish with the whole Shots Fired series. Anytime I have a certain subject, there's always something I'm trying to accomplish. And walk with me. Listen to me. Because I'm about to break some real stuff down. I'm trying to cut back on my cursing. Alright? So, let's get it. Tecmo asked me a question, right? I was at a press event out here in New York. I was asked a question. So Tecmo asked me a question about Dead or Alive 5. Now, we was playing Dead or Alive 5. I couldn't get footage of that because it was still in early stages. But they asked me a question about it in terms of some of my thoughts. And from what I saw, one of the most amazing things that they changed is that while you're in a regular one-on-one fight, they added a lot of cinematics to the fight. So in previous Dead or Alives, you had it where, you know, you go from level to level and stuff like that. You could throw people out of here. That's cinematic in itself. That's great. But they took cinematics to another level during your real-time fights. And I think it comes across so powerful because it makes you feel like you're doing more damage than normal in previous games. So that's one of the reasons why the tagline for Dead or Alive 5 is called I'm a Fighter. You're really going to see and feel that exact way when you see this game in its, like, all its glory. But upon asking me that question, it led to the whole Ninja Gaiden 3 situation and certain journalists from major websites that checked out the game as well and basically their energy towards it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not sure if you guys, you know, I don't know if you guys don't got a mind of your own anymore. I don't know if your passion for games has dwindled away. I don't know what's good. But first and foremost, Ninja Gaiden 3 is not a bad game at all. It does not deserve the bad scores. And I'ma prove to you guys that there's been personal attacks on this game and there's been lies spread about this game. Okay? So let's get it in. Alright? So, talking with Tecmo, they pulled me to the side, and I'm not going to name names because there was other people there that was with me when this discussion happened. And basically what they were saying is that, look, you know, we have a lot of, you know, journalists come in here and they just look at the game, take some notes, and they just leave. Like, there's no true interaction. There's no passion. There's no nothing. It's just they're there to do a job, get some information, write it up, and on to the next one. That's exactly how they treat it. And to me, one of the questions that they asked me regarding Dead or Alive 5, which led into the Ninja Gaiden situation, was they was asking me what did I think of the game. And I said that, well, in this game, I feel like I'm more a part of the action, and I feel like I'm truly this character because the presentation of the actual fighting now is so much more advanced that you feel like you're a part of every kick, you're a part of every punch. Dead or Alive 5 is a truly amazing game. And then after them hearing me say that, we was playing Ninja Gaiden. And when I saw Ninja Gaiden 3 for the first time over there, I was blown away. Like I was like, oh snap, going crazy, yelling, like it was insane. What, you don't believe me? You don't think I was going crazy? Alright, take a look at this footage and you'll see.
Oh, Ninja Gaiden is ridiculous right now. Look at this joint, man. Oh my God. Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yes.
Are you guys gonna have like a versus mode in this game? I would love to like. This should be a fighting game too, not just an action adventure. Like,
That's a fighting game.
I know Dead or Alive 5, but still, I want to see that.
Ninja Gaiden will also have a versus mode. It will also have a multiplayer mode.
Oh my! I told you I love you. It will have a versus mode and a multiplayer mode in Ninja Gaiden.
Stop.
What? Oh my God! Seriously?
Yes.
So what characters you guys have? Yo, like seriously, look at this.
It will be ninjas versus ninjas.
Oh, okay.
Battle Royale style.
What?
Yes.
That's gonna be insane. Oh my God. Oh wow. That is crazy. That's crazy. Ninja Gaiden, I got a question. Ninja Gaiden is known for superpowers, like their special attacks and superpowers. Like, what kind of powers we gonna see in this version of Ninja Gaiden coming up?
Well, this actually, for Ninja Gaiden 3, we wanted to sort of strip away a lot of the fantasy elements and really give players the experience of a more realistic ninja adventure.
Okay.
So we want to focus on a man and a sword and make that as like gritty and rough as possible. So we want to make players feel what it's like to cut down someone up close and personal. So rather than throwing like nympho bombs and all of this, we want you to really get up and close with cutting down people. Wow. And that's the sensation you get by playing Ninja Gaiden 3.
Now weapons. That weapon selection. Is the Wolverine claws coming back? Like, I was a big fan of those claws that Hayabusa had. So will those claws be coming back, or is there any new weapons you can tell us about?
Classic traditional weapons will come back in some form or fashion, but for the main story mode, we're trying to focus on the sword.
Okay.
So
Okay, cool, now we back. So, just to let you know what I'm saying, for those out there that don't understand or realize, who I am and what I do, anything I talk about, anything I say, I show, I prove, I'm official, I'm legit. HipHopGamer Inc., HipHopGamer, HipHopGamer Show, everything I do is legit, alright? So anybody that's out there that's still hating, that's still doubting, keep talking about me. It helps. I appreciate that, alright? So, here's the deal, right? We talking about Ninja Gaiden. And the passion that I had for Ninja Gaiden, like the emotional connection from, everything that was going on, with what was shown to me, I was like, yo, this is amazing. You know what I'm saying? It's all about a ninja and his sword and stuff. And, the whole army and everybody invading and the different things that's happening. And I was amazed. It was crazy. So, to me, I put a lot of passion to not just reviewing games, but talking about games, impressions. Even if a game isn't that great, I put passion into making suggestions to kind of throw my thoughts out there on how I can help. You know what I mean? It's just, at the end of the day, we're all in this together, and a lot of journalists don't look at it like that. They're just there to do a job. This is my life. This is my career. That's why when people say I'm #1 or whatever, these are the reasons. You feel me? So, major websites come there. They treat the game like it's dirt. You know what I'm saying? And, it's sad, but true. So, that was the first thing. Second thing was this. a lot of the low scores, right, was based off of personal dislike instead of the actual game. I give you an example. One of the first things that a lot of people are saying, and I'm referring mainly to journalists. Now, fans, they can say whatever they want them to say. They fans, they're not held to the same standards as a journalist, because as a journalist, this is your profession, this is your job. There's a certain way you got to go about it. As opposed to a fan, they can do whatever they want, say whatever they want. I have no problem with that because you're a fan. If you don't like something, hey, say it. I don't care. Like, you know, that's what you're supposed to do. No problem. If you love something, you big it up. Cool. You have no obligations. No problems. So the words that I'm saying right now is more towards journalists and their responsibility on not just reviewing games, but being realistic and not being personal in terms of the bashing. So here's what I'm talking about, right? One of the first things that they said about this game is that, you know, it's easy. No, it's easier than Ninja Gaiden 2 and other Ninja Gaidens. This game is supposed to be this, it's supposed to be that, whatever. Now, what bothers me is that this game still is difficult. Now, keep this, now, use your head. I'm going to ask you guys a simple question. Would you rather fight ninjas or dudes with rocket launchers and guns? Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, I know ninjas is quiet. They can sneak up on you, stealth, and all the other stuff. But to be honest with you, if somebody got a Mac 11 or they got, you know, some super AR-16 semi-automatic weapons shooting at you, yeah, it's going to be, I don't care how many weapons or swords or whatever you got. You ain't stopping no bullets. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, if anything, you know, even though it's easier in terms of gameplay and combat or whatever, just because it's easier doesn't mean it's bad. You hear what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that it's bad. It's different. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I don't like this whole personal attack thing is because you could personally not like something, but you still got to judge it fairly in the review process. And with all these low scores and what people are saying, you don't hear, now listen to me, you don't hear no one talking about the frame rate being bad, or the graphics are horrible, or the gameplay is broken, or you don't hear them saying anything. All you hear them saying is that they took away dismemberment, the people that you're fighting isn't as challenging as the ninjas you was fighting in part 2, which slightly makes sense because, you know, ninjas are more deadly than just regular army soldiers, but anybody is more deadly with a gun. Like, you see what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make is that there's differences to this game. Just because there's something different doesn't mean it's bad. And if you're grading something, you're supposed to grade it based on what's there, not because you didn't like something. Now, it'll be different if you say you didn't like this because it didn't work right or it was broken. You're just saying you didn't like it because it's not the way it was before. That's no reason to take off points. There's no reason for these low scores. You know what I'm saying? The developers was trying to tell a different story, trying to show you something different and not be the norm. There's never nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It may not be your taste, but I give you an example. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of RTS games like Halo Wars and you know, things like that. I'm not a fan of those games. But just because I don't like those games doesn't mean those games is bad. They could play great. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like those type of games. So should I grade it low because I don't like it? Or should I grade it based on what that game has to offer and how good it offers it? See what I'm saying? So that's the second part. And like I said, Tecmo already told me that they expect these things to happen because things that people were saying when they saw Ninja Gaiden 3, you know, they was already preset, ready to bash this game even when they was at the event. How messed up is that, yo? It's crazy. But that's what happens when you got gamers nowadays that don't have an emotional connection. That's what happens when you got journalists that just happens to cover games instead of true gamers that's in the journalism field. You see what I'm saying? That's the point I'm trying to make. The next thing is this. Some of the press is spreading lies about this game. One of the lies about this game is that it only has one weapon. Now, I'm not going to tell you the game. I'm not going to spoil it. But I'm going to tell you this. Very early in the game, you get another weapon. Very early in the game, you get another weapon. A completely brand new weapon. Completely brand new weapon. Right? Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's one thing to have an opinion about something. Then it's one thing to blatantly lie. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you guys remember Castlevania, that game Castlevania that my man Dave Cox did, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Destructoid, right, that did this review. And I believe they said something in the review where you couldn't go back to other levels to level up or whatever before you got to later levels or something like that along those lines, if I'm not mistaken. Dave Cox had to come out and be like, yo, you blatantly lying. That's not true. You can do this. You can't do that. And this the dude that made the game. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, if Dave Cox never would have said nothing, nobody else in the industry would have said anything, and people would have believed that you couldn't do that, and that was a straight lie. That wasn't even an opinion. That was a lie. So we're back again with another lie. This game has more than one weapon. And what's so funny is that now that DLC is coming out with even more weapons, are you going to change your review score? I don't think you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, even if the game had one weapon, even if it did have one weapon, like, you know, so what? Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know we want things or whatever, but if that one weapon works in whatever that game has to offer, you don't have to like it. But just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's bad. And that's the whole point I'm trying to make. And it's sad that a game as great as Ninja Gaiden 3 is getting treated like this in the industry. Because I could guarantee you that if you look at a lot of major games in the industry, the high profile ones, I guarantee you guys are going to give it high scores straight off of GP. Straight off GP. And if you don't know what GP means, that means general principle. So right off the bat, you're going to give it high scores simply because. Yet, you'll dog out Ninja Gaiden 3, even if it has the same thing that another game has, but you'll dog out Ninja Gaiden and praise the other. That's beyond bias. That's effed up. Straight up effed up. Alright? The next thing I want to say is this. Right? You know, people said that, you know, because Itagaki wasn't working on it, it was going to be bad. Now, the thing that pisses me off about this, because it's not just fans, but a lot of people in the press. The moment Itagaki was not working on this, everybody just like, nah, this game is going to be whack. So already, before the game came out, everyone had it predetermined in their mind that this game was going to fail and fall short just because he wasn't there. Now, what gets me angry about that is because if you look at a great studio like Naughty Dog, right? Uncharted is incredible. But Uncharted on the PS Vita is an incredible game as well. And Ben Studio did that. Hell of a job. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, it's like, just because somebody else is taking over or somebody's leaving, they still left some sort of blueprint there. And anyone out there that's not getting Ninja Gaiden 3 because of what you saw at various other websites, yo, make the decision for yourself. Demo the game. Something. The game is not bad at all. And what's so crazy about it is that when you fight a boss or whatever, like let's say you're fighting a boss, right? And excuse me, let's say you're fighting a boss and the boss is a ninja. They're extremely more difficult than it is fighting the regular soldiers. Now, doesn't that remind you of damn near any game where the regular soldiers are usually the easy ones to get through, but when you get to the boss, you got a difficult time? You see what I'm saying? It's like the logic in the game still stays within the game industry anyway. What's the problem? So the next thing I want to talk about is this, right? Here's the thing, right? I heard a lot of people say that you're only fighting one person at a time. This is another lie. When you play this game, there's somebody with a rocket shooting at you that you got to keep ducking and dodging. Then you got regular people shooting at you. Then you got parts where it's stealthy, it's nothing but fog, and people is trying to snipe you, and you got to walk slowly so they can't hear you, so you can creep up on them. All types of gameplay. All types. This game is phenomenal, and anybody that's telling you different is lying. Is lying. I don't care about their opinion. They're lying. They all, trust me, like, play this game for yourself, and I guarantee you, you're going to be like, oh my God, what was I missing? Why am I listening to these people? Trust me. Trust me, the game is incredible. The next thing I wanted to say, in terms of, you know, like only fighting one person, there's one thing about this game that I love so much. There's parts in this game where, you know, the soldiers would surrender. You'll see them get on their knees and be like this, okay, I'm sorry, or please, please, I don't want to die, leave me alone. And you can leave them alone if you want, or you can kill them. Most likely you're going to kill them because they was just trying to kill you. But when they, I never even seen this in Ninja Gaiden before. But imagine being such a deadly warrior that people don't even want to fight you. They just, look, I'm sorry, drop the guns and just let you go. That's in the game, son. Ninja Gaiden 3 has that where they surrender themselves at times. They don't even want to mess with you because you're so dangerous. How many games you know where the dude is just so authentic that the enemies be like, nah, I ain't even mess with that dude. That dude crazy. I ain't even mess with him. They got a gun. They're like, I ain't even mess with it. Here, forget it. Like, that's insane. Imagine how powerful you feel running around a game and you know, based on what you did, these other dudes are scared of you. You know how much more of a feeling you got? How much more of an emotional connection? Like, name again. Like, okay, Kratos. I love God of War. Love God of War. They don't got that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you got your regular, you know, people, but these regular people aren't your enemies. They just regular people running around trying to get away from the chaos. I'm talking about your enemies. The enemies that you're programmed to fight. They don't back down from you and be like, oh, spare me. No, they don't do that. And that's a hardcore badass game. So what I'm saying is that right there alone was creative. And nobody speaks about it. It's horrible the way they treat this, not just this game, but it's a lot of favoritism and it's messed up in this industry. So now we're going to break down some quotes from my man Mitchie D. Now, shout out to Mitchie D because even though I think the review that he did on Ninja Gaiden 3 was horrible and it was personal attacks and it was bullcrap, even though I feel that way, I respect the dude because he said that if he reviewed Call of Duty, you know, he would kind of treat it the same way. So, you know, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? He's not a favoritism person. He generally feels that way. And for whatever reason, even if I don't agree with it, I respect it because, you know, he gave some details to why he felt that way, even though it was kind of iffy, but I respect it. So shout out to Mitchie. But Mitchie, I got to destroy you a little bit on what you said because everybody wanted to know where the lie came from. Check this out. Okay, here's the first quote. He says, now this is his words. He says, Team Ninja displays an obsession with newfound emptiness that anchors the action, betrays the fans, and repels newcomers. Now, I'm be honest with you. If Ninja Gaiden 3, now everybody, I want y'all to be honest right now. If Ninja Gaiden 3 was the first time you ever seen a Ninja Gaiden game, if Ninja Gaiden 3 was the first ever Ninja Gaiden game ever released, would you not want that game? Would you not want to play it? Like, seriously, Ninja Gaiden 3, if that was the first ever Ninja Gaiden ever to come out, would you feel that would repel newcomers, make them not want to play it after seeing that for the first time ever? Really? Come on. Be serious with yourselves, right? That's one. Two, you know, I'm going to show you the whole contradiction in repel newcomers. Now, if everybody's complaining about Ninja Gaiden 3 because of what was there previously, then technically there's nothing wrong with Ninja Gaiden 3. It's just that there's a lot of things that people don't like about the game that was in part 2, that's not in part 3. That's what people complain about. You see what I'm saying? So how can it repel a newcomer if a newcomer had no idea of what was in part 2 or part 1 or whatever, if they're a newcomer to Ninja Gaiden 3? You see what I'm saying? All the complaints that's about Ninja Gaiden 3 is about what Ninja Gaiden 2 was, not what Ninja Gaiden 3 is. You see what I'm saying? That's the point I'm trying to make. So that right there just kills his argument. The next thing was betraying your fans. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, right? You know, in a situation in terms of betraying your fans, I don't think you're betraying your fans when you work hard to make a game and you put it out there and you're trying to do different things and tell different stories. The reason why I say that is because everybody is different. There's a whole lot of Ninja Gaiden fans out there that love Ninja Gaiden 3 and they don't feel betrayed. And there's a lot of people out there that do feel betrayed. So for you to say betrays like fans, it's kind of hard to justify that because I'm a fan and I don't feel betrayed. I feel incredible like about the game. So I don't think that statement applies to every single fan out there. Some fans, maybe, they may feel betrayed. But at the end of the day, you feel betrayed because there's no dismemberment or they took some things out or whatever. You know, if you feel betrayed by that, then you have a good argument. You know what I'm saying? You feel like there was something there, now it ain't there. It's like you taking something away from what made me like your product in the first place. I feel that. So, you know, I respect the fans for feeling that way. So in a way, I can see them betraying their fans. But in a way, I can see them not betraying their fans. So that right there kind of goes both ways. And I think I explained both sides. Now, he also said newfound emptiness that anchors the action. Like, what? Seriously, newfound emptiness? This game is full of action. Story is good. It's not empty at all. If anything, like I just told you, when the people surrender and stuff like that to you because they respect your authority, they respect your power, if anything, that's not making me feel empty at all. That's not making the story empty either. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like, in terms of the story, you know, these people is trying to destroy, they destroyed London already. They destroying everything because they trying to get something you got. Like, it's just, the game is fire, yo. Anybody's telling you different, telling you, like, it's just, the game is hot, yo. So, now, here's the next thing. He says that there's nothing, listen, this is his words. There's nothing about Ninja Gaiden 3 that's difficult or even challenging enough to be amusing. Now, isn't that up to someone's opinion? Because I'm telling you right now, I could have my little nephew that loves Ninja Gaiden. He could play that game on hard, and he'll have a hard time playing this game. You know what I'm saying? I could play the game on hard, and I could have a hard time playing this game. So my thing is, everybody got different skill set. So if your skill set is so high that this is easy for you, that's for you. You're talking about yourself. But to the general public, what's easy for you may be hard for them. So for you to make a statement about nothing about Ninja Gaiden 3 is difficult, nothing about it is difficult, that's a lie. Because there's a lot of people out there that may not be as skilled as Michi in this particular game on the hard difficulty, and it's going to be hard for them. It's going to be hard for them. That's with any game. Any game. Everybody got different skill sets. So things that may be easy for me could be hard for you until you learn things or whatever. Or if you got the will to learn it. And vice versa. So for him to make a statement like that, that's personal. That's him taking his heat out on a game instead of being fair in general about it in terms of what it has to offer. Now, He says, or even challenging enough to be amusing. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If you got somebody with a rocket launcher, then somebody with M16, or then you got snipers shooting at you, and it's foggy and it's dark and you can't see nothing, you mean to tell me that that scenario that I just explained is easy? Hell no, it ain't easy. It's challenging. It's difficult. It ain't easy. So, it may be easier than what Ninja Gaiden 2 had to offer, but just because it's easier doesn't mean it's easy. You feel me? That's what I'm trying to say. But these are the things that he's saying, and nobody is combating it. It's crazy. So, here's the next thing. Ninja Gaiden 3. Now, this is everything he said. He says, Ninja Gaiden 3 is a gash on the face of the franchise and one of the worst games the action genre has yet suffered. One of the... Now, think about it. Ask yourself a question. When have you ever known Ninja Gaiden to be this bad? That's like Naughty Dog releasing a game that's like the worst game ever. It's... No. Like you know what I'm saying? Things don't happen. Like when you're naturally talented and you got a gift and you're great at something, it's kind of like, alright, David Jaffe is my boy. Twisted Metal, love it. God of War, love it. Calling All Cars came out. The game was great. It was a great game. But it didn't have the wide marketing appeal like a lot of people, you know, like you would think it would have coming from a David Jaffe. But was the game bad? Hell no, the game was bad. It worked great and it was a fun, quick little pickup game. The point I'm trying to make is that for you to say this is the worst action game in the genre, like the worst one out of all the ones that's out there, and you got to explain that to me, and he doesn't explain that. So the next thing is this. He said it has no consideration for its fans, wants, or what a new audience may have enjoyed. How do you know a new audience would not enjoy it? Once again, it's personal. He feels that a new person wouldn't enjoy it. How do you know that? You know what I'm saying? Have you actually, you know, like went to the store or had a little press event at your house to have new people come and check this game out and see what they think? I'm pretty sure you didn't do that. So how do you know these things for a fact? Because you're putting this in your review as if it's fact. It's not a fact. It's just your thoughts about this game and the way you want people to feel about it because you feel that way. And that's not how you do it. It's not fair. And once again, Tecmo warned me of all of this. They warned me of all of this. Right? So the next thing is this. Right? They said that, so he also said that it's a nightmare. He said it's a nightmare that's as easy as it is uninteresting. And it abandons what used to work for awful new ideas that don't work together. Under no circumstance should you ever waste your time on this self-indulgent and abysmal wreck. He said, no, you hear what he said? He said you should not waste your time on this game, calling it an abysmal wreck. So if you're a reviewer, you're supposed to tell the reviewers, you know, what the game has to offer, what you like, what you don't like, but also leave them with a clear head to make a decision. He didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? He did not do that. So to me, that's what bothers me. It's like he didn't say anything about, look, I don't feel this game, I feel it's bad, whatever. There's a demo out for it. Try it for yourself. If you agree with me, you see what I'm saying. If you don't agree with me and you like it better, then hey, you know, maybe you'll enjoy it better than I would. And we spoke on Twitter, and when we spoke on Twitter, it was the same thing. He was saying, well, I hope you enjoy it, but for me, it didn't do anything for me. So if you can say that statement on Twitter, why can't you say that to the millions of people that's looking at your review? You see what I'm saying? Because the way you make it seem like you got personal attacks on this game. And, you know, there's a lot of hard work that went into this joint. And you just bashing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So, and then you're going to lie in your review saying that there was only one weapon. But we coming up to that. So, here's the official, you know, review scores, you know, for the parts of the game. So, presentation, they said he said the camera hurts the stylish and over-the-top action. No, it don't. Actually, if anything, the camera is a lot better than it ever was because the environments, they show it in a better way. And just like how, like, in God of War and stuff like that, you don't have a camera control because the camera is like preset and it works its own way, yes, like this game, oh my god, like, you know what I'm saying? It's insane in terms of like the camera and how good it feels. The action is fast, it's intense, it's crazy. So then, graphics. He said Ryu looks fine. The woman looked like real dolls, and everything else looked like low-res sewage. He must be playing on a standard definition TV. He must be. Because ain't no way in the world that that's a factual statement. That he said, listen to what he said. He said everything else looked like low-res sewage. There's parts in this game where you see big monsters come out, you sliding under trucks that's coming at you, fire everywhere. It's a damn shame. It's a shame what's going on in this industry. So, the next thing was the sound. He said the voice acting is rough, but the ridiculous metal tunes are super fun to fight to. Okay. Alright. The next thing he said was gameplay. When you can tell what's happening, fighting is easy, repetitive, and dull. Now, let me ask y'all a question and you tell me if this is dull. If I could be at the top of a building, jump down, glide, stab you in your head, flip over, and like pull you apart, if that's dull to you, then you don't belong in this industry then, because you don't know what action or excitement is. Straight up. If I'm fighting you, right, and I stab you in your stomach, cut your neck, or I'm walking up towards you and I slice your body, you know, all this other stuff. Or if I do a nimpo and a dragon comes out, kills everybody, excuse me, and then my sword gets on fire. If that's dull and easy, something's wrong with you. Like, seriously, something's wrong. You don't have any eyes to see anything. You don't believe yourself when you say those things. Real talk, because it's bullcrap. Word up. Now, he's talking about the game is repetitive. You know what's so funny? Ninja Gaiden 2 was repetitive. To be honest, every single game that ever comes out is repetitive. You know why? Because you're doing the same thing for a long period of time, because that's what makes the game the game. If you're playing a first-person shooter, what are you doing the entire game? You're shooting. Repetitively, you're shooting. All game. Why? Because it's a first-person shooter. If you're playing Uncharted, Nathan Drake, you're going to do a lot of shooting. You're doing a lot of climbing. So some parts of these games is repetitive because you're doing a whole lot of climbing in that game. Every game has some sort of repetitive nature. That's what makes the game the game. If it's a platformer, it's going to have a what? A lot of platforming. If it's a first-person shooter, it's going to have a lot of shooting. If it's a driving game, it's going to have a lot of driving. That's repetitive action. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your point? Every single game is repetitive. So why you saying repetitive in your review like it's a bad thing? Every game does it. Are you gonna you might as well just take a point off of every single game. Mass Effect, incredible game. It's repetitive because you're doing a whole lot of shooting, whole lot of talking. Like, come on, man. Like, seriously. So the next thing I want to say, the next thing he said was lasting appeal. This is what his lasting appeal was: one weapon, no character progression, and pointless multiplayer leave little reason to return. You know, it's ridiculous. So the reason why I did this shots fired is because I just want you guys to see that have a mind of your own when you want to purchase games. Our job as journalists is to let you know what a game has to offer, what's in it, and if it works or if it's broken, and share our opinions on what's in those games. We are not supposed to sway you to, buy everything to be like, yo, just buy this, without explaining why it's a good game to get. And we're not supposed to tell you, don't buy it, don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And not explain to you details why we don't you know, like something or whatever. Now, like I told you, I used to tell people buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, but I had to change that. Because even though that's a positive thing, I was still wrong. Because if I'm telling you not to buy something, if I'm telling you you shouldn't tell someone not to buy it, then you shouldn't tell someone to buy it. You can say, I recommend this game. From my experience, I recommend this game. You won't be let down. That's being more general and more professional about it without trying to, you know, completely sway you to do what I want you to do or something. You know what I mean? But just briefly, you know, in the industry, a lot of people look at scores. A lot of people look at Metacritic. A lot of people look at VG charts. A lot of people look at all these things to decide whether they're going to get something or not, simply because they're not in the know like how we are. So it's our job to get them in the know. The only way to get them in the know is to let them know what's there, and if something is broken or not, or if it works well or not, and give our opinions on the things that you're going to encounter at hand. If there's a demo, encourage them to play the demo. You know what I'm saying? So they could try the game out for themselves and let them make the decision. That's the way you're supposed to do it. If a game is just incredibly hot, I would tell you, yo, this game is definitely worth getting. You know, but if you tight on funds and you're not sure what you want to get, at least demo the game out and give it a shot. You may love it, you may not, but I think it's great. That right there covers all bases. It's fair, and that's the way it should be. Fair. One love and God bless you, your boy HipHopGamer. Thank you for tuning in for another Shots Fired. Shout out to Tecmo and you know, Mitchie D, you my dude. But stop lying, because in the beginning, damn near in the beginning of the game, you get another weapon. So you're not playing the whole game with one weapon. All right, that's a lie. Don't lie. Peace.